Yeah. Go ahead.
Tell me when to continue.
Yeah. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. So several important things before I start. I already set Istio to work on my development machine for this demo. I will use Minikube as a Kubernetes in this demo. I have a different document for helping setting the environment to work with Istio and Minikube. This is not part of this demo, but I will happily move it forward to everyone. In general, you need to apply a YAML for Istio initialization and the Minikube YAMLs. And you might have to deal with several issues related to port 8080, binding to IIS, default website, or firewall blocking, or even BIOS definition change. Okay. Another thing, we will use Istio version 1.5. Keep in mind that this is just a test of Istio capabilities, and there are still many things to be learned and understand. So there might be more demos to come. So let's see Istio that is currently up and working. Okay. So first of all, I have opened the PowerShell. I'm using PowerShell. You can use, of course, command as well, Windows command. There is no problem, but you need to open it as an administrator. Okay, let's use now command. I'm using most of the commands that I will use in this demo will be started with the kubectl, okay, which belongs to the Minikube. So now I'm going to show you the current Istio services system. Okay, the services that came with the Istio installation. kubectl get po. This is shortcut for pods, and pod means service. Okay. Second, Istio system. Okay. So we can see. Do you want me to increase the? You can see now better. Okay. Yeah. So you can see the list of the services that came with the Istio installation. Okay, we can see the Grafana. We can see several things. In this demo, we will actually have a first look at Kiali. It has much capabilities that we will show then I will show you, but it is just a taste to let you familiar with. In general, Grafana gives us a series of graphs. Istio Ingress gateway and the second and the third one services are control traffic coming into and out to our cluster. Istio tracing will be used on our warm-up. Actually, no. This would be probably the next demo, not this one. Okay. Istio D is the main application pod. Kiali, which I will represent in a few minutes, is actually a graphically interface that allows us to visualize the clusters, tells us what microservices part of Istio service mesh, how they connected, and how they are performing. Shows a dynamic connectivity graph of all the services calls in a specific namespace according to the timestamp you want. Okay, and the last one provides monitoring features and work with Grafana pod. So I still need to learn most of the services here. But in general, this is the first demo. So in general speaking, we have spoken about each one of them in generally. So let's continue. Okay. Now I want to let you have a first look at the Kiali service. But in order to do so, we will need to identify. I will show you how to identify the IP address of the Minikube on the specific machine. this machine, my machine. And after that, we will need to identify the port of the specific service, which is the Kiali. Okay, so kubectl, sorry, minikube IP will show us the IP address. Just a second. Okay, and now I need the port of the specific service that I want to show you, the Kiali. So in order to do that, I will need to write kubectl get see minus n Istio. Okay. Oh, just 1 second, I think. Okay. So you see now all the ports of all the services, but we are looking the Kiali. Okay, so we can see the port is 31,000. So let's open now the browser. But we need this one. And the port is 31,000. So okay, we can see that we are at the login page for the Kiali. The username and the password that comes with this version of Istio is admin. First, if you want to change it, of course you can. Okay, so this is the first screen of the Kiali, the overview screen. You can see we will in just a second we will speak about this one. But as you can see, the Istio system has 7 applications. Okay, you can click and see the application list that we have seen a few minutes before. The Grafana and the Istio did, and the Jagger we didn't see, Kiali, etc. Okay, so this is the first look. If we will use the graph, we won't be able to watch anything right now because I haven't added any service yet. So this is the first thing that I wanted to show you. Now we will add some application that I found over the internet. It's some tracking system, and I will apply it to the Istio. Let's do it. Okay. Let's see if I have it here. Yes. Okay. The YAML, it's the application YAML file called for application full stack YAML. And just 1 second before I will do it. There is a very important thing to remember, which I just forgot. I need to add the injection. So every service that I will add and apply to Istio would have a different cluster, and Istio will manage it in a different clustered in Kubernetes. So just 1 second. Okay. Let's see if I have the. Okay. So just 1 second. Before I will continue with the command, it is very important to show you the default namespace. The default is actually a namespace which will have all the added services that we will add to the service mesh. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So now we can continue. Let's open the command again, and let's write kubectl describe NS is a shortcut for a namespace default, and we will see now. We will see now the name default, and we can see that we have no labels. Okay, we will have to inject. We will have to set a value to the label of a default namespace to Istio injection equal to enabled. Okay, so in order to do it, I will write the following command: qctl label namespace default Istio injection equal to enabled. Okay, now let's watch again the namespace, the default namespace, and we will see now that Istio injection is enabled. Okay, now we can we can apply new services. So let's start with the application, the track management system that I have downloaded from the internet. Okay, so let me apply it. In order to edit, I need to apply. So I'm using the kubectl apply command, and the file, the YAML file, is the for application full stack. Okay, so okay, now we can reopen the Kiali service. Let's refresh it. You can already see the default has 7 applications. Okay, because the system that I have added is based on several parts, 7 parts. Okay, you can see this one, the list of all the parts of the application that I have added. Okay, now let's watch the graph. Let's see. Okay, first of all, before we see the graph, you can see the drop-down list upstairs here. You can choose either or both or all the namespaces you have. Okay, Istio system are the services of Istio, and the default is the namespace that we are using for all our services that we will add. Okay, service graph. Okay, so this is the first graph that we are seeing, but we are not seeing something special because we do not see any connection between them. Okay, so now, just 1 second. Okay, just wondering how come the graph is not showing, because I haven't. Okay, let's refresh it. Here in the right side, you can set the refreshing time every 50 seconds, or you can choose from here. Okay, let's continue, and then we will shortly see. Okay, we can see a red line here between 2 services. So I have already looked into it, and I can see that we have we can tell in this graph view that there is maybe some problem between 2 services, between the API gateway and the service call tracker default service, something like this. Okay, which is using HTTP protocol. But if I click on the red line, you can see here the traffic. But if I will, okay, I can see the code 503. Okay, that is oh, here I can see more lines, but as you can see, the flag shows that code 503 is actually 100% of the calls of the request. So there is an issue between the 2 services. Okay, this is only to show you that before we are debugging and starting to look for any issues or problem in our services, in our service mesh, we might be able to use the graph, this graph, of K8s in order to see and observe graphically issues between requests, between the services requests. Okay. Now you can see as every 50 seconds that as it's being updated, you can see that some services are calling other. Okay. Okay. So now after we saw this, another thing that I wanted to show you was the services tab. You can see the list as I show you, but you can get into some of the services or applications. Doesn't matter, and you can see another graphs which are not available yet. I believe in a few minutes it would be. It takes time because it's refreshing all the time, and the system is actually sending messages of track routes. So it is being updated every several seconds, I think. So as I mentioned before, I haven't had, I did not had the time to learn all the K8s abilities, but I'm still learning, and I will probably have more demo to show. But now I want to add some different service. One service that called product, and it's a web API that has been developed by in .NET Core, of course, which is not belong to the system that I have just added. Okay, so let's see. Let's open. Where is the YAML? Here. Okay. No, it's not what I wanted. Just 1 second. Products. Product YAMLs. Okay. So let's apply. Second, I will first clear the screen, and let's apply. The file. Actually, I have 2 YAMLs that I have downloaded related to the product. The first one is deployment, and the second one is service. So let's apply the service product YAML, and after we will apply the deployment. Sorry. Sorry, just 1 second. Okay, so I have added the product web API, and as I mentioned before, let's see the before we relook at the K8s website. Let's see the kubectl get PO. Okay, so you can see, by the way, the injection is working because you can see the column calls ready. Okay, so each service has actually two clusters. Okay, and the products has 2, but it's still ongoing. It's initializing, so let's wait a few seconds. Let's wait a few seconds more. Okay. Okay. 1 second. I will actually. We need to call it to use it in order to get into the graph, because the graph is actually shows us all the requests that are being made at each time. So let's see. See if it will work. Search Q equal to chocolate. Okay, so it is working. Some list of items that related to chocolate. So I have activated it, and now let's refresh the Kiali. Okay, we will shortly. It will be added soon to the graph. But meanwhile, we can watch the services and see the product that has been added, and we can see it. Okay, so okay, everything looks good. Let's see if we can. Oh, maybe. Just 1 second. Here. Okay, unused node is checked, so it's supposed to be added. Yeah, okay, here's the product. I can see it now. Of course, you won't see any lines connected to the other services because it is not related to any services. We have just added a different service which is not connected to any existing services. You can click on the legend here and see the description of every possible icons in the graph. That include my demo. Questions, guys?
So Nimrod, I guess the piece I'm missing is that if another one of those services wanted to use your new service, how would it know how to do it? Maybe that's just a bit of a naive question. But if I suddenly had a use case where I wanted to call your service,
yes, sure,
how would that work?
This is something that I will need. This is my next step to learn how to connect the services that weren't added as as connected services. So if we will add a different service, how we connect it to the other services that are existing. Yeah, I will. This is my next step.
Okay, so that's the kind of service discovery piece, right?
Okay. Yeah.
The tooling looks really good. I like the Kiali interface. It looks neat, and I think that having something which will help us reason about the different services will be really important because there's just going to be more and more and more. So
sure, I know. Good. Yeah,
that's cool. Thanks, Nimrod.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, that was good.
Thanks. Any other questions?
Could you maybe explain for people how Istio, how you describe the service using the Istio files? So you did the applied on the Istio files to get them in. Maybe you could.
What do you mean? Do you mean a document?
No. So the YAML files you deployed.
Do you want to see the YAML files? Do you want
maybe
me to send?
You could explain how the Istio services are described in that.
Yeah, just show them, Nimrod. I don't.
Sure. Just 1 second. Of course. Okay. So let's see. So let's observe the product YAML files. Okay. So you can see this is the deployment. Okay, I already opened it before. You can see the versioning. You can see the metadata. You can see this is. I must say that the YAML files and all of the Kubernetes and the Istio, of course, is very new to me. I'm learning it. I'm not familiar with all the structures of the YAML files, but let's open the other one as well. The service. Okay, so you can see the ports. So this is what you meant, Luke?
Yes. So how does Istio discover these services?
How Istio is what?
How does Istio discover these?
Is using Kubernetes discovery. This is what I know, but I'm not sure how it is being done.
Okay.
Okay. Some of the let's say alarms in my first document of my research regarding Istio was that discovery is not belongs to Istio. It is using Kubernetes. Okay. So I will need to look into it, how it is being made, the discovery itself. Of course, I will have answers, and maybe we will do another demo with connecting Ross as per your request, which I will show how I discover new services and how I connect services to other services.
Sounds good.
Okay. Great.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Nimros. That's good.
Welcome. Thank you.
Cheers all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks.